This is gonna be a quick one.
That's what she said.
Hi, my name is Julianne. Hi, my name is Julianne, also known as Roadrunner, and in 2022 I thru-hiked the entire Appalachian Trail from Springer Mountain, Georgia to Katahdin, Maine, and today I want to talk about injuries. So let's get started. I'm not planning to talk too much about the typical injuries that one expects when attempting a thru hike of any sort of long trail or any sort of hiking. And the typical ones would be dehydration, hypothermia, rolling your ankle, falling, and there's one that I'm missing. Oh, animals. Yes, animals. So those are the typical injury-related things that you'd kind of prepare for. But when I did my thru hike, we came across some injuries that we kind of didn't think about, but kind of happens. First unusual injury that you're not necessarily thinking about, but it's super logical, and that's hitting your head on a tree while hiking the trail. So usually there's some blowdowns, and a lot of times there's trees that are either low enough so that you can go under the tree, or they're high enough so you can over them. But sometimes a tree will be just at eye level. And often when we do hike, especially in states like Pennsylvania, we look at the ground a lot. And when you wear like a baseball hat like I do, as well as most of my trail family did, what we do is we don't really look at what's ahead of us, even though we should. We look at the ground so that we're not gonna roll an ankle, right? So we don't look, and we can hit our head. And this actually happened to Fox. We were in Connecticut, I believe. It was a super hot day. We already were a little bit perturbed about having to hike in hot weather, and we just kind of looked down and hunkered down, and Fox didn't see a big tree that was at her head level. And she literally full force smashed into the tree, fell down. Her face started a little bit twitching, and we definitely were concerned that she'd have a concussion. So we eventually decided to backtrack, went into town, did a zero. Fox went to the hospital to just kind of make sure that she was okay to go, and the doctor cleared her for hiking on. But this is a very, very typical injury that a lot of people don't even think or talk about. So definitely try to look at the ground, but become aware of what's ahead of you. And when you're wearing like a baseball hat or something like that, then I don't know, flip it up or just become aware that the baseball hat is going to prevent you from seeing what's ahead of you sometimes, especially when you're lowering your head. Weird injury or health concern number 2 that happened in the Smoky Mountains. We were hiking up the first day. It was the first day of the Smoky Mountains. We were hiking up, and we ended up camping in one of the shelters. In the Smoky Mountains, the shelters have like a little fireplace, right? And so I didn't know that the smoke of the fireplace can essentially almost suffocate you. We were at the shelter and we started a fire, and then when we all went to bed in the middle of the night, there were some section hikers that decided to continue the fire, and eventually all the smoke got up into the top of the shelter, and it was really hard to breathe, and honestly to the point of where it almost felt like we were suffocating. So definitely keep that in mind. Make sure that you don't suffocate your fellow hikers, but also become aware of kind of the smoke and the problems that could come up with that. The third weird injury that happened on the trail happened to me, and that was me never considering that going downhill could injure my knees and the way you actually go downhill. So I had injured my knee with a previous fall, and then I made it worse by not walking downhill appropriately. So I'm a ballroom dancer and I wear heels, and generally when you wear heels, you step into a straight leg so that you don't look like a weird bird when you're walking on like heels, because otherwise you look like you're walking on stilts and your knees are all wobbly and things like that. So you're actually supposed to do exactly that when you're going downhill. You're supposed to have your knees flexed, bent, or whatever word resonates with you. So it's not supposed to be completely locked. You're going to have your knee a little bit bent as you're walking and stepping into, so you're creating a cushion for your knee. And so I injured my knee by going downhill into a straight leg, and so don't do it. Like it's gonna injure you, and then you're gonna have to take 3 zeros like I did, and that's just gonna eventually make it 39 zeros like I did. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, the 3 zeros were from my leg injury, my knee injury, as well as going downhill the wrong way. And moving on to the next weird injury that happened to Fox as well, and that is burning yourself with the hot water that you just boiled on your stove. So we were at a shelter and Fox was burning hot water for her food in the evening, and I don't know what happened, but she either smashed into the pot or somebody else did, and it poured all over her legs, and it kind of burned her. It was very painful. We happened to have a doctor hiker in that shelter at that time, and he recommended what to do as well as what kind of salve to get later on. And yeah, so be careful when you are boiling your hot water. Make sure that you don't just like carelessly move around, and don't burn your legs, because again, that can really impact whether you're going to continue hiking or not. So thankfully Fox didn't have like a deep burn, like there was no I don't know what the degrees are, but I don't think it bubbled up or anything like that, but it was so painful for her, I'm sure. Yeah. And the final weird injury that you could come across when you do the thru hike or any kind of hiking, and we were able to avoid it, but we definitely considered it, is getting hit in the head by your rock bag as you're trying to throw it to hang your food bag. It's so dangerous, to be honest, sometimes to use that rock bag and try to throw it over a tree, and sometimes it just does its own thing and it's trying to come back at you like a little boomerang. Sometimes it just swings around a tree and is trying to knock you over. So definitely be careful with the rock bag that you're using when you do the bear food hang, and it's something we were able to avoid, but there were some really close moments of almost getting hit in the head. So yeah. And that's it with regard to the weird injuries that you might not be thinking about, but you definitely should consider, because they're very, very real. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for following. Thank you so much for subscribing. If you are new, try to subscribe if it's something that you're interested in. I do try to post a through hiking Appalachian Trail related video at least once a week. And if that's your kind of thing, consider subscribing. Have a wonderful day. See you next time.
All right, we are watching the professional here. She well, okay. Now that she's on camera, she's not professional. That's not where you want to hang your bear hang, on one of these evergreen. Oh gosh, what are these called? Rhododendrons. I know that, and I just hiker brain. Yeah, yesterday she did first try, like not even Lego Batman first try. She actually did the first try, perfect throw. It went all the way over. She caught it, and it was perfect. Today, she's having wiseacres luck.
Well, I had it up already one time.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely wrong direction.
I don't even know where that went. I'm just, oh yeah, there it is. Hard hat time over here. I will stand back. There we go. Blame it on wiseacres. Look at this beautiful view here. I mean, just, even though you're watching her fail at this miserably, it's still a good view. We'll make sure they put this on her YouTube channel. If it's not going on hers, I'm going to post it on mine and say, hey, go subscribe, subscribe.
Like, you know how she pretended that she's really good at it?
Yeah, this is really the behind the scenes and how she, but I will honestly, her first try yesterday, it should have been on film. It was great. Look at that method. Oh, okay, that was rejected. It was like hitting the rim of a basketball court.
The confidence is reducing with each throw.
Yep. Oh yeah, I know that feeling so much.
Oh, nice.
That one, and it's coming down. Is it going to come down? No, keep whipping it. Whip it a little bit, and you got it.
We got stuck on this here. Man.
It's coming down. It's coming down. Look at that. Look at that. It's down. As Lego Batman would say, first try.
Well, definitely not first try.
Shh.